Let's cross now to Berlin and talk more with Aris. He's the editor-in-chief of BNE IntelliNews. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, most opposition politicians, as we know, was barred from running in this election. Can we expect some sort of uprising to take place despite the government's crackdown on protests?
Well, that's the big question now. I mean, the poll numbers, we've been watching them come out, and there was the exit polls based on the paper ballot last night. However, this morning, all of the electronic votes, which is a new thing, it's been introduced for the first time in just 7 regions, they were added into the mix, and that's caused the various upsets. The most important and most glaring one is in Moscow, and Moscow is home to the sort of urbanized, westernized Russians. And it is also the hotbed, the bastion of opposition protest votes. And in Moscow, according to the polls we saw last night, the United Russia Party lost all of the Moscow seats. But when the electronic votes were added in this morning, then all of those results were overturned, and the opposition candidates, such as they are, the systemic opposition candidates in Moscow, lost, and United Russia has been returned. Now, there's always a lot of fixing, and most of the blatant falsification happens in the southern regions, in the Caucasus and Pakistan, where typically those return 90%, 95% in favor of United Russia. But those are also the regions where the local authorities have the complete control of those regions, and they're very unlikely to protest. But if you massively fix the vote in Moscow, then that's a very dangerous thing to do, because there the Muscovites in 2011 took to the streets at a falsified election, the dirtiest in the campaigns in 2011. Right. And you ended up with 100,000 people on the streets. So you could, I don't know, we're watching very closely today to see what the reaction of the Muscovites is to this result.
Right, let's go back to 2016, the last parliamentary elections. Putin had won just over 54% of votes, but it seems like he's losing more votes as time passes. What is it that went wrong with him? Why isn't he as popular as he used to be?
Well, to put it in long-term perspective, you have to understand, and this point I think is lost on a lot of observers of Russia, just how terrible the 90s were under Yeltsin. Putin took over in 2000. The economy boomed. He was helped a lot by soaring oil prices, and the state put 10% wage rises in place for a decade every year. People's lives got dramatically better, and now Russia's income is on a par with the lower end of the EU. And in that sense, it's by far the most successful of all the former Soviet Union countries. But that went wrong in around 2013 when the oil model that they've been following ran out of steam. It stopped working. Economic growth stopped, it fell to zero, and real incomes since 2014, when sanctions were imposed, have started to decay. So people had enjoyed this prosperity in the first 2 terms of Putin, which is the basis of his support. But then in the last 7 years, the standard of living has been decaying, and now the people are fed up. They want change, and they blame United Russia for that because it's been the party in charge. So Putin is desperately trying to fix those problems, but it's not going well.
All right, Aris, thank you so much for sharing that insight with us here on Tier 2 World.